The downsized semi-hollow guitar has become quite popular ever since Gibson introduced the 14-inch ES339 in 2007. Now, since then, other companies have joined them with their own smaller semi-hollow, including D'Angelico. And today I'm looking at the D'Angelico Premier Mini DC. While I did feature a semi-hollow D'Angelico Premier Bedford about a year ago, well, that was more of a chambered design. This Mini DC is a semi-hollow built very much like the traditional 335-339 style, with a pressed laminate body and a separate center block. Now, this turquoise finished body is maple, but in keeping with the company's jazz roots, it has a spruce top, although laminated rather than solid spruce. Now, this body is about 1.75 inches deep. Now, I need to point out, this is a new old stock 2021 model. As far as I've been able to tell, the main differences are the new, more vintage-looking finishes, along with the fretboard material and the pickups. Now, this model has an Ovencall fretboard, which I kind of like because it looks a lot like ebony, whereas the latest has Pau Ferro. Now, the pickups might be a more meaningful change, with this version having Seymour Duncan-designed humbuckers, while the new ones have Supro bolt buckers. I have no idea whether the change is actually an improvement, or a financial or marketing decision. Maybe I'll try something with the Supro pickups in the future, but in any case, it is something to be aware of. But also be aware there are plenty of this original version currently available new, often for quite a bit less money than the latest model. Other specs seem unchanged. The neck is maple with a 25-inch scale, so like a PRS, right between Gibson and Fender. Nut width is 1 11/16 inch, or about 43 millimeters. There are 22 frets, and the size is listed as medium, which doesn't mean much, except they're not really huge and not really skinny. They seem a little more on the jumbo side of medium to me. Now, the fingerboard radius is 14-inch, which is just a little flatter than Gibson's 12-inch, but I doubt many will notice any difference. The neck is a very average, slim C-shape, and measures about 20 millimeters deep at the first fret and about 22 millimeters at the 12th. Now, measuring resistance for the pickups, they're definitely going for vintage output with the neck pickup at 7.08K, and as is normal modern practice, a hotter bridge pickup measuring 8.68K. When I pulled this guitar from the box, the action was ridiculously high. Now, the first thing I do is check the neck relief, and the problem became obvious. Way too much relief. It took a fair amount of tightening to get it right, but once I did that, the action fell right into the perfect height without adjusting the bridge at all. Now, this is completely normal with a guitar shipped from halfway around the world, and expected if you buy from a box store that makes no adjustments before shipping it out. No big deal if you're comfortable doing these things yourself, but if you aren't, I'd suggest buying from a dealer who at least does a basic setup. Now, the fret ends are slightly prickly, but not bad. You have to be feeling for it, and I've seen a whole lot worse. Again, really typical for a guitar that's gone through a bunch of climate changes. Let's hear it in a mix. So if you're looking for a smaller semi-hollow that won't require a second mortgage, this isn't a bad choice. It's an attractive guitar that has its own look, and I always appreciate that. And again, these first-generation Premier Mini DCs can be found for a very reasonable price if you shop around. Like most guitars at this price point, a little setup work may be needed, but it's a well-built guitar that ought to serve you for years. Well, thanks for watching. I hope you found this interesting. And if so, give it a like and subscribe if you haven't yet. And hit that bell to be alerted when the next one drops, and I will see you then.